Healing crystals, skincare routines, knitting a sweater, fitting in jeans. With Katie and Sarah, no need to worry, you're on a lady journey.
Welcome to Lady Journey, everybody.
Nice.
I'm here with my co-host. You may know her from her special Butthole Money. It sounds like that's your special skill.
That is my special
It's
skill.
on special. Check it out on YouTube. Sarah Tollemache, everybody.
Oh, well, thank you. And I'd like to introduce my co-host, the very funny Katie Hannigan.
Thank you so much. And I'd like to introduce our guest. Kicking it over, Yvette Segan. Yvette,
Hey.
welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Yes, you're the youngest guest we've ever had.
Whoa!
Coming in at... But were you born? You were still born pre 9/11, but not that much pre.
I was 4.
You were 4. Okay, I wasn't going to say your age, but now if they do math, they will know.
They'll figure it out.
And that's not all of our listeners, by the way.
No,
that's
they don't.
Only,
Our listeners
only
are
the ladies.
stupid.
Yeah, but not the women. But no,
The ladies are stupid, the women are not.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
well,
our tagline.
Yes.
Where the women are stupid and
And the ladies are free to be dumbasses. And that is a freedom that I covet. Now, we've done 3 episodes today, just so you know, so we're a little looped up from only from talking. We don't do drugs. We don't do
Yes.
anything. But tell us, where are you coming from today?
My home.
Okay.
Are you a New Yorker or
I was born in the suburbs.
The suburbs, yes.
In
Love it.
Westchester.
Westchester?
Oh,
Lovely
ooh.
neighborhood.
Oh, I aspire.
Oh my God, I
aspire.
know.
Can't wait to fill up my car
I
with
only
Costco.
think of Westchester from Giannis Papa's character, Maurice,
Mauricia.
who's problematic now.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Did you know about Mauricia? She was at like
A trans,
she was a trans. She was originally from the Lower East Side.
but wants to hook up with a guy from Westchester.
Yes, Giannis Papas did this character, and he did a few videos, and it actually got so viral that he would perform as Mauricia for a long time. I opened for Mauricia actually. She was the best, and he
Talk
would
about
stay
commitment to the-
fully in character. He would never come out, and people loved it.
it.
And it's so funny because Giannis is a Greek guy, Greek man, born and raised in Park Slope, and the audience for Mauricia. What Marisa was like all
Puerto Ricans,
Latin,
right? Yeah.
Puerto Rican ladies, and they loved her. She had a huge following.
Wow.
And
Then I think of
yeah.
Westchester.
Yeah,
That's
And-
what I think of.
and
Yes.
that's correct.
it is
Right.
correct. Yeah,
And you're right for
absolutely.
that.
That's math. That's math.
That's how I'd prefer to be associated with where I'm from, you know.
What is
Yes,
associated
yeah.
with Westchester?
Affluence
Okay.
and being out of touch.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
that's
finance
where
bros.
I'm headed right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I mean, it is aspirational, you know.
And where are you
Yes.
living now? You're in Brooklyn, or
I'm in Brooklyn.
Okay, what neighborhood are you in?
North Brooklyn.
Okay, you don't want to say it. Okay.
Well, small. We can cut that. No.
Yeah, that's okay. We will cut it. Actually, sorry. I'm always like blowing up people's information
You're
on
like,
where.
what's your
We're just-
address?
we're trying
Yeah,
to
just tell
dox
me your
you
address.
and get you swatted.
Now I stalked you a little bit online. I
Gorge.
see that you spent some time in London.
I did.
Okay, so tell
As
us.
living or traveling.
I studied abroad there for 4 months, and then I was there for 2 weeks over the summer doing shows.
Okay, great.
So that was great.
So tell us, 2 weeks in the summer, what were you packing? Let's walk
For
us through. Yeah, walk us through your.
You know,
Are you going
I'm-
capsule? Are you bringing pieces? This is serious talk.
No, and
here.
you're right. And thank you for asking me that.
Yeah.
I am a very light packer.
Okay, yes.
I bring a carry-on everywhere for no matter how long I'm gone.
Okay.
And I was in Europe for 3 weeks.
Do you
Okay.
ever
And I brought a
regret it?
carry-on.
Yes.
Do you ever go, I wish I bought more?
No, because stuff makes me anxious.
Okay.
And here's why. I'm not like other girls in that I studied abroad in London, but also in Nepal. And I spent 4 months in Nepal with just a backpack. So ever since then, I'm like, I don't need stuff.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to be a little dirty, you're
Right.
good. There are workarounds. Like
I
you
love
can wash
this.
stuff in your sink. Like you know, so I like to bring sort of more capsule-y things,
Yeah.
like the basics. And then, of course, I bought a few items while I was
Of course,
there.
you gotta buy a few little things.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's London.
It's London.
When
That's
sorry.
that's my. I was just gonna say that's what my issue is because I do a lot of work on the road. Thank you. Anybody here ever been to Gainesville, Georgia?
Let's go.
Was just there. But so I travel like on weekends. I'll bring a backpack. But what often happens is I run out of clothes. Like when I was in Vegas this weekend, ran out of clothes, and then I had to buy Vegas merch because that's why I was in downtown Vegas. I'm like, okay, this is it. So I love packing light because you also then you do have a little room to, like, if you want to get a piece, you might want to get a piece.
You might want to get a piece.
It's important
to remember your time
Right.
there
in Vegas.
Now,
I might want to
in
get
Vegas-
a T-shirt of a nude woman to
Is
let
it one of
everyone
those,
know.
the ones that make you look like you're naked?
I was searching for that because I thought, like, what a fun way
That's
to
fun.
remain covered, but for the male gaze,
Right.
that's my thing. As you know, that's my thing. But I
Stay
got
true
one.
to
It
you.
was.
I love the male gaze.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's what this podcast is.
Everything I do is for that. Honestly,
Oh, of course. I exist. It was. I had two. There was like two ladies in bikinis that were like wearing stilettos, and then it said Las Vegas, and it had like cool like aces.
Yes.
So I was wearing it,
That's
and
badass.
I was telling them, I'm like, that's me. And they were like, is that you? And I'm like, no, this is what I look like, though. I just want you to know. I have a huge rack under this. But
huge
yes,
tits and ass.
Yeah. Right.
Proportionally.
everyone knows that. When you hear Katie Hannigan, that's what you think.
We
That
keep
was
them
what I
secret.
thought
Yeah.
when you emailed me and you're like, do you want to do my podcast? I was like, oh, huge tits?
Yeah,
Right.
My podcast hits.
I
So
think there is a podcast.
I think there was
Called
Lady-
huge tits?
Something lady
sad tits or
tits.
crying tits.
Yeah, something
but
like that.
Now defunct. Bless. R.I.P. R.I.P.
Yeah.
But so London in the summer, is that your ideal time to travel there, or do you prefer in a different season?
I mean, summer's a tough time to go to Europe because it's just like busier.
It's overrun,
It's
right?
a lot of
They always
travel.
made it out that it's really hot, but I'm like, yeah, but it's Europe hot.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
I grew up
better
in
than
Texas,
here.
and I'm like this. It's like 100 degrees with humidity. Is it that hot, or
Yeah.
is it 80 degrees? And then
There's
they're like,
just-
"Woo,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's just no AC.
that's
Oh,
right."
okay.
So people, because they're old school and
New York's like that too. I'm like, this. Can we get on top of AC here?
I know this entire city has.
Can we get
barely.
central AC instead of this window unit crap?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like so annoyed that. Come on, global warming's happening. Let's just get some AC.
right, and make the
Speed it
problem
up.
worse.
Yeah.
Speed it along.
Let's just
Well, I was thinking about that
exponentially
when I was in Vegas. You know, it's like we're in a desert, and yet like how much electricity is being pumped into the Excalibur, shooting a beam of light into
Right.
space.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
it can be done.
It can be done. So yeah, you like the summer, or you prefer like fall, spring? Like, what's the best time to visit London?
Probably actually, yeah, like fall or spring. I was actually also in London in the spring because I was visiting a boy. And
Oh, love it.
The
Love
only
it.
reason to travel.
The only reason to
great-
travel.
That's
Great
why I
reason
go
to go.
across the
Yeah.
pond.
Yeah, but that's why I knew that I like had a following in London.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I was like, oh, great. Like the comedy scene here is amazing. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
come back.
Yeah.
Boy did not work out, but like the
cares?
comedy,
Yeah.
but I won in the career.
Yeah.
So-
That's what I say to any lady in their 20s.
Every failed
Focus on the
relationship
career.
is a personal
Do not
success.
give a shit about men.
Oh, yeah.
Who don't worry about. Do not waste your life on them.
Yeah, just freeze your eggs.
Just
freeze your eggs.
Just get those bad boys out of you
Out.
into
Yeah.
the fridge
Into
and
the
then live your
fridge.
goddamn life.
Yes.
right. If
I
you can do
concur
it.
with that.
Did you freeze your eggs?
No, I'm
No.
afraid. But
you
it's
also
too late
have
now.
a-
It's too late now.
It's too late. Can you
I'm
put these
38.
old eggs
Yeah.
on the fridge?
yeah. They're like, ma'am, your eggs are bad. There's no eggs in there. But actually, I don't want to blow up this person, but I do know someone who just got pregnant unexpectedly at 43.
It can
Let's
happen, but
freaking
then I
go.
get
Yeah.
always. I was dealing with that and then I would get upset because you're like, why can't I get pregnant?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like you can't take it for granted. But lighter note, back to the trip. Let's go. But tell us about, were you having tea? Were you having teas in London? What kind of food were you eating? What are you doing when
Oh.
you're not doing shows there?
What was I doing? I have some friends there.
Okay, that's great.
I was trying to embrace like the local culture. I was going out like a lot at night, actually. That was
Was
like
there
after shows.
Yeah.
But mostly it
local-
was like shows. What?
What would you consider a local culture? Because I lived in Cambridge for a brief moment in my early 19, and I remember going from America to there for going out at night. Different ball game.
Super different.
I remember these girls were like, "Come on out with us. We're going clubbing," and I'm like, "Okay." I came out wearing my best jeans and like a t-shirt. They were like, "Are you getting ready?" because
they were wearing like dresses.
They were wearing
or-
dresses.
Yeah.
I didn't go clubbing like that in America. We were
Yeah.
going to raves, but
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
wearing bodycon dresses.
Mm.
So it blew my mind. Like, is that still happening, or what's going on in that with going out at night?
So where I was, no, it was very like Brooklyn-y because I also went to like a queer bar
Okay.
Okay.
in like East London. Like East London is like very similar to like Williamsburg.
Okay.
So it was like that energy. So I was just, wearing like what I would wear here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's the biggest difference was that it's like a lot earlier because like the
Yes.
pub culture is different.
They
So
close
when
early.
Yeah, they close at midnight.
I always thought like London was like party central, and you're like, but you guys close early.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
Where
like,
are we
what is
going?
this, preschool?
Yeah, where at least like our bars close at 2, and then you find after hour bars, but they don't have that.
No, yeah, you have to go like clubbing if you're going to go out after
Yes.
midnight.
It's like, how do you get a substance abuse problem when you're in bed to
go to
bed,
bed.
right?
Well, that's what they were trying to avoid, I think, but everyone's still an alcoholic.
Yeah, because they
So,
binge.
yeah.
Or they
Yeah.
drink
Or they drink
heavily
all day.
Yeah.
Like they'll start, like I was doing shows like in the afternoon and people are just getting hammered.
Wow.
Yeah. There's no AA chapters there.
Is that true?
No, I made
have
that
to go,
up, but it feels
"Oh,
like
I believe you.
It's the British version.
Yeah.
Now, are you a drinker? Do you drink at night?
Not really.
Okay.
Because I like to stay focused.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And also I have a very delicate makeup. So like when I drink a little bit, I am wrecked.
You're on the floor.
Yeah.
The and especially the next day, even if I'm like not that drunk that night before, I'm like so hungover. Somehow.
How did you find that? I'm sorry, I have to get water. I'm so sorry. This is so unprofessional. I've never done this before.
Phil
How did you? Here we go.
We're going into the crowd.
I'm just going over to
break
Lex
the
to tell
fourth
him
wall.
something. Yeah. Our fans love that. But so Yvette, when you are going out with your friends or your friends are drinking, like, and you're kind of like, I'm just here along for the ride. Like, what do you have anxiety going out? Are you extroverted? Like, what is that like for you?
I am not it doesn't bother me. If I'm like in the mix, like I'm always sober and I love just doing that because I just like to watch.
Yeah.
But also I like to dance and I'm not like worried about how that looks regardless of where so like I'll just dance sober.
It's hard to dance when you're drinking alcohol. It's like drinking a beer and then going to the gym. Like, who's
That's how
doing
I
that?
feel.
Yeah.
And I want to like drop it low.
Yeah, you can't when you have a stomach cramp.
Ankle roll.
Yeah, and I can't do that like with drink in hand either. I hate that.
Right. Yeah.
And then also you keep having to go to the bathroom because you're like drinking a lot.
Yeah.
And then I'm
Yeah.
like, and the lines are so long, and I'm like, your whole night is spent in the bathroom line if you're like drinking while you're dancing.
Yes.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, how about we just cut that out?
Yeah.
I'm sober. I'm gonna grind on you.
Yeah, I'm gonna get an ab workout in.
I'm gonna
Hell
get
yeah.
after it. It's like literally
Yeah.
a workout.
I love this. This
So-
is fun.
Yeah, but I guess I will say when I was in London, I was drinking a lot because I was with my British friends and they were buying me drinks, and I was like, well, when in Rome.
When
Right.
in London. No, what's your drink? What's your drink that you do? Do you like a beer? Do you like a cocktail?
Like a gin and tonics. I don't know. I don't
That's
even
very
like it
British.
that
I
much.
think like a gin and tonic.
Right.
Yeah.
I just go with like the flow of the situation.
Yeah.
Right.
That's great.
Now,
I
when
love
you
it.
were over there, did you get influenced? Where you know when? Because I know when I go traveling, I'm like, oh, I notice everyone's got this. I gotta go get it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
clothing choice, or like this is what they're wearing. You're like, I gotta immerse myself. Did you
you find anything that was-
different over there than on what's happening over here?
It was like pretty similar, but over there there was a lot of like Y2K thrift stores,
More than here,
even more than here, and like
Yeah.
way more on the nose of like Y2K, do it, you know?
right? Because that came fast.
Yeah.
After COVID, and then doing spots like going to New York Comedy Club and being in the East Village, I was like, things changed.
Overnight.
Yeah, the jeans changed and the outfit, the tops were different
Everything's different.
overnight.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you partake?
No, I'm too old.
Sure. You didn't want to get
At a
low-rise
certain
jeans.
point, you can't go with it.
Say
Yeah.
that like there's only a little bit of Y2K fashion that I like. Like I love the baggy jeans. Love incorporating that back again. But like a lot of it is bad.
Yeah. I don't like the fuzzy hat.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? Like the fuzzy.
A backless.
That's
I don't
hardly
have the back.
like mainstream. Like you're like, I saw one
Jamiroquai.
person wearing a fuzzy hat. You're like, no.
Yeah. I don't know if I can pull that off.
Yeah.
But if I could, how brave of me.
Right.
You
Low
know?
rise tops, maybe. I have to do a mid rise. I've accepted I'm not high rise. I'm not low rise. I'm mid rise.
I'm a high. I'm a high rise.
You're high
I mean,
rise.
I'll
I
put
don't
it
have the
all the
body
way
for it.
inside of me. That's
Yeah.
why I like my jeans.
Gorge.
So no, I love that you studied abroad in London because this is like triggering me to remember some of my friends that studied abroad in London, and like this is like a funny trope of like coming back to your program. What did you study in school?
Drama.
Oh, even better, like coming back to the drama program with like a light accent.
Right.
Stop.
Like,
Did you do that?
No, but a lot
I
of-
didn't. But
a
there were some girls in
lot
my program that
That's
"Hello,"
legit embarrassing.
Or like also like it's Catherine now.
I say mom.
Yeah,
Rather than mom.
Mommy.
Mother.
Like, I had a friend who she went to study abroad and she came back and then she did a full rebrand, changed her name. In Italy they were calling me Catherine and it just felt right. You're
That's
like, okay.
psychotic.
Okay. Yeah. Did you do any of that? You're just normal.
I was like pretty normal, but like again, like my second semester because I was in Nepal, I just like changed
you
a
did
lot
it over
being
there.
That was, I mean, I was just like, life was so different for those 4 months, and I almost died so many times when I was
Really?
there that I was just like, yeah.
What? Tell us a story from Nepal.
I got dysentery thrice.
That's what I
Oh
was,
my God.
I was thinking diarrhea.
Yeah.
just real
Some
bad,
traveler's diarrhea.
but like on crack.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in the hospital for like 8 hours on an IV drip because I couldn't eat anything, or like I was in so much pain.
Oh
But
wow,
you
that's
looked
wild.
amazing.
I looked so skinny. You have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
When I got back, I was like,
right? You're like, how long can I ride this wave
Yeah,
until I
and I was-
fulfill again?
I was
Tom
so
Ford.
sick, but I was like, yes.
There is a part of you that's like, even sometimes if you get like a bruise on your face or something, you're like, I kind of like it.
What are you talking about? Bruise on your face.
Well, like,
It doesn't
you know,
look like
playing
you've been
soccer,
through
like
something.
like a cut on your lip or something.
Okay.
Yeah, a light injury.
A
that
light
looks
injury.
where you look like Angelina Jolie.
Right, or like if you get a cold and your voice is kind of raspy, you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I love
Am I
this
Fran
for
Drescher
myself.
right now?
Yeah,
She's like, I'm different
An
now.
icon.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a
yes,
personality.
something to set me apart.
I've never had that before.
I'm like, how often are you getting punched in the face?
Yeah.
A lot. A
If
lot.
Yvette doesn't know, she's like, "Are you okay?"
Do we need to call someone?
yeah.
I'm at home.
It's my husband. Just kidding.
You're like,
He's
oh my
lovely.
God, yeah,
He's
it's
lovely.
just, we're into that.
So, what do you think? Nepal? Would you go again, or London? Which was the better study abroad experience?
Well, London was more like down the plate. I mean, I love it there. And honestly, after going back and doing comedy there, I'm like, should I move? Like, I would.
Yeah.
Have you done shows there?
I haven't. I have been there though.
You have to do shows there.
Yeah,
The
it's
crowds are amazing.
so great.
but
So
also because they're really into like dark humor, and that's where I like to live.
great. Okay.
So I was just in the pocket with those people. It
Oh,
was
that's amazing.
But Nepal just was like, if I always think about if I went back, I think I would get PTSD upon like getting off the plane.
Yeah.
Like the smell, I think would make me.
Did you study over there? Or
Yeah.
just what did you study over there?
Tibetan and Himalayan peoples.
Okay.
It was like this experiential learning program.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Lucy
So
Goosey.
did it tie into your drama program at all, or it was just kind of like more in the liberal arts area?
It was very liberal artsy, but also because it was like a research-based program, you could choose whatever you wanted to do. So I wrote a play at the end.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so I spent a month, the last month I spent in the Himalayas and like
Wow.
interviewed families in this like remote village.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then
Damn.
wrote a play about it.
Okay, can you tell us just a little log line of the play? Not so anyone will steal it, but I'm just dying to know.
Oh yeah, you couldn't steal it. You'd have to like
You'd
live
have to
there.
get dysentery.
You'd have to really body some dysentery and giardia and altitude sickness and near-death jeep
What's
rides.
the altitude in Nepal?
Nepal in Kathmandu, I think it's like 3,000 feet, and then where I was in the Himalayas, it was at 14,000 feet.
Oh wow, that's I would.
That's not Denver.
That's not Denver. It is almost Vail. Well, I think Vail is like 9,000,
Okay. Which I never know.
but 14,000. I mean, that's the highest, right? That's where
pretty
Everest
high.
is. Yeah,
What's the highest city?
I know that
Ecuador?
yeah, I know
Or I
that
mean not Ecuador, but
Peru.
Quito?
Peru has really really high altitude. I know where like Lima's very high altitude.
And I'm always like, why start a city so high up?
What are you doing up there? That's what I think about Denver.
you?
I'm like, how did you guys get up there in like 1814? Whenever, like,
They're like
how did they
cats.
get up there?
Like, what are you guys doing up there?
Yeah, get down. Bolivia.
Oh. All right, next podcast. Let's go.
Yeah, and we're getting facts. So what was the altitude sickness like for you in Nepal?
I didn't have it bad. I was lucky.
Just like headache, nausea.
Yeah, like the first day you get like a little headache,
that's
and then
not bad.
yeah, one of my friends though, he, we also walked up for the highest that I was. He flew into where he was. He was in Ladakh in northern India, and that's also like something like 14,000 feet, and he was drinking a lot, which you're not supposed to do.
Wow.
Fun.
And he was like, because he's so this is a hilarious fact. Apparently, men die from altitude sickness far more than
Love
women.
it.
Oh, that's so
That
lady
makes sense.
lady journey all the way. Thank you for bringing this to us.
Yeah, because they're around their boys and they get, and the first symptom is a headache.
Okay.
And if the headache gets worse, then you have to go down, or you have to like take it
Okay.
easy and be like, I have a headache. And tell everybody, be like, I'm gonna chill today because I have a headache, and like rest.
Yeah.
And the men won't do that. They're just like, yeah, I got this. It's gonna
Oh,
get better.
yeah.
And then they have like a pulmonary embolism and die.
Wow.
That's where,
because headaches are gay, apparently.
Headaches are gay, and I've always said that.
Oh,
That's
my
where, like,
God.
toxic masculinity plays in the evolution process for us. Like,
It should be bred out by this point, but it's not.
Yeah.
That reminds me of during COVID. Remember, like the guys wouldn't. There was like a homophobia around wearing a mask because it was
Right.
perceived as weakness, which is it's like what? But you're going to die.
right. I remember reading, what is it? The Devil or in a White City, about the serial killer in Chicago.
Yes.
What's that book? And then also the World Trade.
The World Fair.
And
Yeah.
there's like,
H.H. Holmes.
yeah, these guys, like back in those days, they would be like, they wouldn't wear a coat while it's like really cold. And a lot of men would just die of pneummonia, which was like really funny to
freezing
me.
to death.
Yeah. Sad.
That's great. Yeah, it is
beautiful.
sad. Yeah, R.I.P. Back to your trip.
R.I.P.
So you're going around the country now, right? You're doing road work and you're doing
A
stand up.
bit, yeah. I'm definitely ramping up. That's like my goal for 2025 is
So
like
exciting.
do road gigs. more.
Where do you have any places that you're like? Sometimes when I pick shows, I will try to do a show where someplace I want to go in the country that I've always wanted to go. Do you have anything like that on your list that you're hoping to experience?
I don't know. I mean, America is an interesting place.
Yes. Yeah.
What was on your list?
Well, like one place that was on my list for a long time was Salt Lake City because I find it to be, you know,
it's a good comedy town,
it's
weirdly.
it's actually a great comedy town because there's so many Mormon people. There's like a counterculture movement that like supports arts. So they're super generous to like shows that come through.
outside the.
Yeah, but like that's a place that I would never go to not to do stand up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I wouldn't be like, let's all go to Salt Lake City. But it feels like it's another world from here. It almost feels like you are in some kind of parallel universe where it's a realm. It's like another realm where different rules apply. You know, like you're in downtown Salt Lake City. You see, like, especially on the weekends, everyone's down there in like the full length garb, and the fashion is very different from like what we have on like the coast, where it's like, oh, I have my high waisted jeans, and it's like,
Are they all? I picture them all blonde.
there's a lot of it's a lot of white.
Yeah.
They're blonde in the skin. There's a lot of
Blonde of the face.
yeah.
Yes.
So that was a cool place, you know, for example, that I would not be taking a vacation to. But
Right, but
was a
it would
cool
be
place.
interesting to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's always interesting to see different places, different cultures. Like, even though we're all one country, but like it does differ a lot.
Yeah. Do you have
Yeah.
any more like international places that you're looking forward to going?
Honestly, I like going places. I like everywhere. I mean, Europe's amazing. For shows, like definitely the first on my list is like the major, just like cities, like Chicago. Like I definitely am gonna do like Philly. I did a show. I opened for someone in SF,
Okay.
and that was amazing. I like
Yeah.
actually really liked it.
It's a beautiful city.
It's a beautiful city. Like that park on the water is
Yeah.
like looking over Golden Gate Bridge. I was like so floored by that.
That's another place I feel like I would not go there. Maybe that's a place you would go on a trip, but it's such like a high cost city that you almost
Exactly.
really do need a reason to go. To be like, oh,
Right.
and it's so nice to go places doing stand up because I find it takes the pressure off of like needing to experience it in a way. It's like, oh, I don't need to be like walking across the bridge.
Yeah, exactly.
I can just be doing my shows and like eating a breakfast burrito.
And you kind of get to experience it almost like a local because you have like a job there.
Yeah.
So it's different than just like, what do we do today? It's
Right.
like, no, I have like a thing tonight. So I'm going to like look around a little bit and then like see what the crowds, because also you can get an interesting taste of what local places, like what kinds of people you're dealing with in certain places by just doing stand up for them.
Yeah.
And seeing what they connect with. And you're like, oh, this is how you're different from like where I'm from or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Like they're not, like you go, I remember doing Huntsville, Arkansas, like you're not really doing Uber jokes.
Well, right.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
like,
You're doing some different jokes.
But even like more broad, like senses
you're bombing is what you're doing.
you're doing I don't like you. Yeah, no, but it's interesting. I mean, like, like how London's like more dark comedy, and then I did a show in Arizona, and they did not understand a word that I was saying.
Yeah, it's a
'Cause it
different.
was, like, not, so I think that does, I mean, of course, make you a better stand-up because then you're like, you figure out what's universal and what's not.
Absolutely. Sex.
Sex is
Sucking,
everywhere.
Sucking and fucking, baby. And that's
Yeah.
Even
what
the
this
Christians
podcast-
love sucking
We're about
and
to
fucking.
pivot to get the views up. Now, so what's your journey that you're on right now? What are you into?
I'm really into blocking people.
Oh, I love this
On
journey.
social media.
Yeah.
Social media.
Okay.
Or like in public.
Stop.
Out of here.
Actually, wait, this is crazy.
Get out.
I just did that. I was 2 nights ago. I was like, I just got a new phone and like I let myself in through my app. And it was like 1 a.m. and I was like coming back from like a show or whatever. And so I like had my phone out to like let myself into my building, but like I got logged out of the app that does
my
that.
God.
Yeah. And I'm alone on my street at 1 a.m. and I was like, oh no. And then I had to like rummage through my bag, like, classic like horror movie type shit.
Scary, very scary.
And this guy walks by, sees me like rustling through my stuff, and he goes, hey. And I just go, and then he goes, hey, and like takes a step towards me.
Oh my
And
God.
I'm like blocked. I'm like, I saw my life flash before my eyes. And so my fight or flight kicks in and I just go, stop.
Good.
And then it worked.
Yeah.
Good.
He just
Good.
turned around and
You're
left.
like, no.
But was he cute though?
No.
I can't imagine.
No.
That's, I actually, my aunt told me one time she was being followed. This guy was like following her. And I think a lot of guys that are creepy, they basically are preying upon the fact that like women are socialized to be like kind.
Yes.
And like, it's like, it reminds me of in Kimmy Schmidt, the first episode when they're like, he just said he had a bunch of puppies that he needed help with. And so she turned around and she screamed at him and was like, I know you're following me. Fucking stop. I don't care if I look crazy. And then he did. It works.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
That's
for
what
you.
I learned. Yeah. I don't know
That's
where
so
that
great.
came from in me,
Good.
but just stop.
Like scary.
Yeah.
It's really scary, especially for women like traveling, doing stand up. Like nobody appreciates how insanely dangerous it is. Like
Or
we've
I love
talked about
when you,
that.
because usually you leave a comedy club and it's never in the great area. You know what I mean? It's like
It's
in a
in
strip
the
mall that's
wilderness.
dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like no other businesses are around at that time. And then you're just like, I don't want to walk to my car.
Now
But
I'm
I
walking to
also-
my hotel.
I also
right?
don't want the comedy manager to walk me to the.
Yeah. Stay away, Jerry. That's not a specific person. I'm not referencing anyone. So, but
yeah,
blocking on social media though.
Yeah.
Do you find like what made you start deciding to block people? How's it affecting your mental health?
Well, I realized, so my main platform is social media, and I share a lot on social media because I like to make jokes about my personal life
Yeah.
and be silly and share a lot. And that's something that I really find joy in. But I think the double edge of that is that there are some people that I feel like have abused that. Not like in a malicious way, but just, the more people you reach and like,
Yeah.
people think that they're like entitled to you.
Yes, it's nice to be able to have the faith in yourself to have boundaries on social media
Yeah.
because you do need boundaries.
Right. Like, because in the early part of social media, particularly Instagram, they're always like, you got to engage.
Got to engage.
You
Got to
gotta
engage. It's
and
like,
then-
well, a man is sending me his genitals, so and it's like, don't lose any followers.
I'm just like an emotional relationship with these loser guys on Instagram. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it starts
Yeah.
off like, I really like your stand up, and you're like, thank you. And then it's slowly, you're like, oh my God, I have to ghost you now.
That's always
Like,
how it starts.
No, I never respond to DMs.
it's best not
Really?
to.
Yeah. It feels like this is why I feel like generationally it's important to connect with people that are like in younger spaces. Why did I say that in such a convoluted way? The youth. Because you guys already had this for a long time and you're like evolved to deal with it better than we are, where we're like just grappling, being like, is this my friend? I don't know. He's outside my home.
We were told
right?
to,
Like you got that person called you one time, remember?
What?
Yeah, Sarah just got a random phone call and was like, hey, pranking.
and
You're
then
being pranked by a fan.
And then they're like, they were like, can you tell your husband's podcast producer to stop talking so much on the podcast? And I was like, how did you get my number? And they're like, it's online. I didn't know that. But you're not, a lot of times you don't realize your number's online inadvertently.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There are services that you can find out where your phone number shows up online. I don't know. I don't give out my phone number. I don't recall filling out forms with my phone number in it.
It would be
But they're there.
hilarious
It's
if
there.
you gave it out.
It's like in the background. You're headlining a show on the road.
7.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's like
God.
projected onto the screen behind you, like
right,
every
as
gig
my
you do.
social handles.
That's
Yeah.
so
Just
funny.
call me.
That reminds
Strange
me.
man.
One time when I was like desperately trying to get email addresses, when I was doing that thing for like 6 months, I did this heinous casino, and there was this guy. They were like, there's a guy in a wheelchair that comes. He was in like a motorized wheelchair, and I'm only saying that because it's pertinent.
They're problematic.
Yeah, well, handicapped people, we all know it's an issue. But so he was like aggressive with the motorized wheelchair. And I guess they said that he was like abusive to the staff. He would ram them with his wheelchair. He would be really mean. He would insist to sit in the front. Like he was a terror. And because the comedy club, right? Like this is like the world of just like low rent road gigs. And so the comedy club, those people were very sweet, but because they were part of the casino, they could only give him a 24-hour ban. So they would ban him from the shows for like assaulting people, and then he would just come back to the next show. And he loved me. He loved my act, of course.
Right.
Perfect.
I always think
Of
they
course, like-
go for the female act. right?
Right. So like I did this, I would do like my little sales pitch at the end and be like, and like, please give me your email address. I'm not going to abuse it. I'm just trying to, never come back here again. And he at the end came up to me and was like, I'm ready for your email address now. He didn't sound like that. It was like, he
Do the voice.
Yeah.
Do the wheelchair voice.
He thought that I was offering to give my email address to keep in touch with people.
Phenomenal.
Which is, I was like, what? Actually, that's the best scam I've ever, like, help.
Yeah.
I got a flat. You know how it is, right? Can you send me $400? But yeah, it's like, it's really wild what people think that they're entitled to as a fan of yours. And also on social media, I feel like and I've seen your videos and they're quite funny. The way that you're doing it is very intimate. You're going into someone's home to the point that people are like, this is my girlfriend.
Yeah.
This is my best friend. The parasympathetic relationship with the front-facing videos is so much stronger.
Yeah.
I just talked to Emma Willman, and she was telling me she blocks out keywords. So that way when people talk to her, if they have woman in the thing, because anytime there's woman in it, you're not getting a
Wait, that's the
compliment.
funniest thing I've ever heard in my
you're
life.
my favorite woman comedian. Block.
The fact that it's woman is so funny.
That's hilarious.
But I was like,
I
oh,
get
that's
that.
really smart. I never thought, like, it didn't dawn on me, like, yes, every time there's woman in the sentence, it means you're about to get hit with a...
Yeah. Yeah. Well, also, now that I'm thinking of Yvette saying, like, she just doesn't answer DMs, I'm like, it's literally anytime someone messages you, they should be blocked. Because it's never for a good reason. Actually,
Yeah.
I do have a few, like, women will message me sometimes, which I think is quite nice to be like, I saw you. I thought you were so funny. Like, hang in there, sister, or whatever. I don't know. That's not a message that I've received. They're like, don't kill yourself yet.
No, I actually get a lot of nice DMs from.
It's nice.
Yeah, like
it's
because
nice.
also my following's mostly women.
Oh, that's good.
So
Good.
and mostly men DM me. Let's be clear, but like
Right,
Right.
of course.
Reply guys.
reply
right?
guys, but it's like a lot of like, I love you, marry me, like not real, like they're not trying to actually have a conversation. I don't know
Yeah.
what they're trying to do. I guess
yeah,
get my
where
attention.
does that ever work out? He DM'd
I do.
me. I do. When and where?
Yeah.
It feels like it's almost, it gets their little boners off because
They will insult you eventually.
Yes.
Within
Yeah.
2 sentences.
Oh yeah, or like
Yeah.
ask for a feet pic or something.
It gets their
yeah.
little boners off that you're taking time out of your day to gratify them by saying like by reading their message even.
Yeah,
Like it's some kind of weird, who knows? I'm not a psychologist.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know the psyche behind it, but I've even stopped. I remember, and this didn't even dawn on me, but this was one time at Old Man Hustle, the original location, which was awful.
Oh,
I
the,
always
the
consider-
one in the tiny wine bar?
Yeah, by Bowery or
Oh
on
my
Bowery.
God.
I think.
Oh God.
I always
I
consider it was
blocked
like a
that from my
towny.
mind. Yeah,
it was awful.
Really awful.
But I remember one time getting off stage and this guy was like, "Can I be brutally honest with you?" And I don't know why. And I usually would be being like, "Sure." But that day I was just like, no. And it was the best feeling
so
of my
funny.
entire life. And then it dawned on me, I was like, I've never done that before. And I was like, that felt so good. And his reaction was so priceless
What
to
was
me.
his reaction?
He was bummed
yeah,
that
he
I
was
wasn't like,
"Oh."
oh yeah, hurt my feelings. Like,
Yeah.
what is he?
Yeah, because also, what is he going to follow that with? Like nothing.
Something complimentary.
Something
I need to
terrible,
feel
yeah.
myself on you and feel that I'm big.
Right. And why would I trust whatever he has to say have value? Like he's never
Yeah.
performed stand up or done it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Like he doesn't
Like, you're
know
gonna
anything
tell
of
me
my
how it
world.
is.
Right. Like the only person that could say that were people that I've known in my life for years. And even that I would.
And you take everything with a grain of salt.
Why would you say brutally?
Well, it'd be like, can I be brutally honest with you? Like, I think you have an addiction problem, not like your stand-up needs work. Right. You know, it's like, I feel like have you experienced this? I think it's common for people who are in a public facing role. Sometimes the people that are doing this are male, but not necessarily. But I think that people like to feel themselves on you. Does this make sense? Like they like to be around you because they perceive you as special in a way, but they don't want to connect with you. They want you to perceive them as special.
Right.
Have you had this experience? So it's like, maybe like I find maybe with like a man that has booked me for something, like a guy's booked you to work, and then you get in there, you're in the green room, and he just is like telling story after story, and you're
Right.
like, what is this about?
Projects.
What is this
and-
about? Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't had too much of that yet, but I also I keep my circles really tight these days.
Yeah.
Like I really. Also, I feel like I have a lot more, a lot of my friends are in the same space, or industry or people that I've known for my entire life.
Yeah.
So, and I think once you have the experience of putting yourself out there in the way that we put ourselves out there, you just have such a different understanding of the world and reality. And so it's just there's just a common understanding you have with those people.
Yeah. Definitely.
So, I went on a Hinge date last night
oh, I love it.
and I was like, oh, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
It's got to be awful.
Because the norm, I don't know how to say this without sounding like an actual asshole.
Go for it.
Yes, we love it.
And
But,
you won't.
We celebrate it.
It's just everything about my life is so untethered to normalcy. at this-
Yeah.
yeah. I literally am up until 4 a.m. and I sleep until noon. And I'm doing work 100% of my day, but it's not work like corporate America work. You know?
Yeah.
And then I'm literally exposing myself to the masses on a daily basis and saying do you think I'm funny or do you like this?
Yeah. You're
You
putting
know,
yourself out there.
And it just changes your brain chemistry, I think, after a while. Which I'm sure, you guys have been doing comedy for a while, so I'm sure you
Not
feel
that
that
long.
way.
embarrassing
For a year because you guys are both 12.
Yes, exactly. I
And
just
so
started.
am I.
Yeah, we all are. We're the same.
But yeah, did you guys feel like there was a shift in your life when you started being oh no, I'm a stand-up now?
I don't know. I guess maybe around year 4. I don't know. I don't know that I felt that. I don't know that I even have that now, but I don't know. It's different, right?
Yeah.
It's but what I think is so fascinating about younger people and you in general, from what I'm like getting from this, is that you have a really strong sense of boundaries. And I don't know that I've ever had that in my life. And I love that. It's like inspiring.
Oh, thanks. I mean, it's something I work at. I mean, like I had therapy today, and that was like the topic that we're talking about.
I love it.
But there's like a balance sometimes. Like I'm on the fence with the Chapel Roan situation.
Right.
I
This
know
is
what
what
you
I'm
mean.
thinking
I
about
was
this
gonna say that too.
Yeah.
Where
And this
you're
is
like-
coming out in like a month.
I
So it'll be.
I get what she's advocating for herself, but also at the same time, I feel like she's still trying to find the balance of it where
Right.
it
I
works
know.
both ways.
It's hard. It's really hard to go from
Because I feel
0
like
to
you-
60 like that.
Canceling, like you still should show up to stuff that you
yeah.
said
Yeah.
that you were contractually going to do.
Yeah,
And
it's like, unless you got the twisties, then sorry. Get in there.
And thank you for bringing up the twisties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've talked about it multiple times.
No, that's super.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
anyone can get the twisties.
Comedy twisties.
Oh my
I get
God.
the comedy twisties like every so
Am I
often.
bombing?
But you push through. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, I thought it was quite, because I think that's not the first time that she's actually canceled a contractual gig before too short of a notice.
Yeah. I also think here's my thing on, did you see her original video where she posted on TikTok and she like turned off the comments and she was like, this isn't a conversation. This is like,
Just me stating my statement.
yeah, this is what my statement.
That's fair enough to me.
I definitely get what that was. I do think she's maybe sleeping at, she doesn't have to be the person to do this, but like because she's the person that I think she's maybe one of the first, if not the first celebrities to like really take that stance. I think that it doesn't obligate you, but like I think it puts her in a position where she could really talk about this in detail and really like make some movement in this thing that we've decided is a social norm where like celebrities get harassed. And I think that
she's
is a
putting
valid-
herself out more than most celebrities would. You know what I mean? Like Beyonce is not doing
Right.
statements on their own personal TikTok account. Like she's the first that I've seen actually do more podcasts than most pop singers do. Pop singers didn't really do podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
It's like
she
what parts of your life
is-
you protect.
Yeah, she's a personality almost adjacent from being a singer.
That sometimes you're like, maybe you are putting yourself out there too much.
Yeah.
That
Well,
there
right.
should be a sense of maybe if she's talking about boundaries, maybe she should pull back on the
Right.
press
I mean,
stuff.
right. It isn't, but that's one of like, it's an
The
interesting
more you talk,
conversation.
It
Yeah,
is an interesting
yeah.
conversation.
Right.
Because I was really like, it's been really fun or interesting to watch her like trajectory happen. And then all of a sudden now she's getting like extreme backlash. And I've never seen anybody have that big of a.
But it does also
Right.
feel like it is part and parcel of like the modern rise of like someone who's rising on
Right.
social
They
media
call it the
must
female
be
portal
canceled.
kinda.
Yeah, it's like the same thing that happened with
Right.
like Dylan Mulvaney, where it was like she was so popular, such a rising star, and then it was like now she's being taken down, and it almost feels like taking someone down is part of the entertainment that we're
Absolutely.
like providing for people now. It's the
And then
same
they
thing
love
I
the
see.
underdog later when they come back up again.
Yeah, it's like they
or
only
like-
love you when you're an underdog. They want to tear you down when
Yeah.
you're up. And I do think it's the same. I'm sure you experience this with like posting these videos. You're getting a lot of negative comments, and it's like, well, this is now we're in this arena where that's part of the entertainment for people, which is wild and,
also
insane.
part
It's
of the
inevitable.
game now.
yeah.
Where now
So-
I feel like it's good. Do you know what I mean?
It almost
mean?
means so.
It's a
Honestly,
good sign.
It's a
Yes.
sign that you are perceived as no longer the underdog. Like you have established yourself so solidly in the public arena
Yeah.
that people feel like, oh, I don't have to support you anymore because you already have this.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
Well, my take now is for people that experience that, starting to get that extreme online hate. If you just push through it,
You have to
it'll
push through
come
it.
around.
I do think that's true.
Yeah. Push
and
through
ignore
Chapel.
it.
You know, it's hard. Like you have to really power through.
You have to develop coping mechanisms.
'Cause I had
Coping
a-
strategy. Like you're blocking. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
block all the way, baby.
Because I had a friend, she did a TikTok, and it was an old joke of hers, and she did it as a TikTok, and it got extreme views, but it also got extreme hate that she kind of turned off. And I was like, Ashley, you have to push
Go
through.
further. Go further.
Yeah, push
That is a
through.
good sign. Like it
Yeah.
sucks that you're getting some hate, but it's just innocuous.
Yeah.
Like it's not anything about your personality. They don't know you.
Right.
Just
it's because
push
they
through.
love doing that and it's fun for them.
Yeah.
And it gets their little wieners hard and clitorises and whatever genitals you have. Because some ladies are mean too. I started making content for women. I was like, finally, I won't be subject to misogyny. I'm like, oh, these bitches are awful as well.
Yeah, they're
We're
just
all
as
in
bad.
the patriarchy.
Yeah, and you know, when you are a feminist, you want women to have the same opportunities as men, and that means even also being awful
Yeah.
on social media. And Yvette, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for
What
having
an
me.
amazing guest you've been. Tell everybody where we can find you. Tell us what you're working on. Where are you going to be next?
I am on social media at Yvette Segan on Instagram and Yevit on TikTok, Yevit. And keep an eye out on my Instagram because I'm going to be posting upcoming show dates. So maybe I'll be in your city. And also subscribe to my mailing list so you tell me where to go.
Yay. Thank you so much again, Yvette. And please like and subscribe to Lady Journey. Follow us. Join our Patreon. Call us on our numbers.
At this number.
Lady Journey.